Hello everyone, hopefully we're live. Are we live? Yes, we are live. My name's Cameron Lee, I'm producer on Dragon Age Inquisition, and this is Mike Laidlaw, the creative director.
Hi guys, how you doing?
So today we're going to be showing a bit of the game. We've got Connell back here as well. He's going to be helping us coordinate some of the questions, etc. So if you ever wondered how many Bioware devs it takes to run a Twitch stream, apparently it's 3.
And that's not even counting setup.
That's right, that's just the people in my office.
Yeah.
So this is my office. Welcome to my office.
You're going to get an amazing shot of Cameron's office and Cameron.
Yes.
Any moment now.
Yes, exactly. So
maybe now. Now, in fact.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. So today we're going to show some character creator stuff. I'm going to start with one particular character, show you guys what that's like to create your Inquisitor, and then I think what we'll do is we'll get some questions and some comments about what other character we might want to make, what other race, and then we'll go from there. And then we're going to show something new, some new areas of the game which we haven't shown before. Today we are playing on a PC with a 360 controller because that's what's in my office. So.
That's what's hooked up, yeah.
Exactly.
One thing to note, we know you guys are really dying to see some more PC controls in action. One of the big things we've tried to make sure is that in terms of gameplay, there's parity between them. So you know, when you're fighting, when you're using your abilities, they basically play the same. Of course, there is a custom UI and a custom interface scheme when you're using mouse and keyboard. But for those of you who have a controller at home for your PC, you want those sweet graphical optimizations, you can absolutely do that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to be showing a lot more PC stuff and talking about a lot more in probably the next week or two. So stay tuned for that. Next week, I think it is.
Just some final touches going on it. And it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Okay, should we get started?
I'd like to.
Okay, let's do it. Press start. Okay. So our character creator is part of our new game process. And I'm going to be drinking my cold coffee because it's Monday morning. So.
it's how Cameron stays active.
This is my second coffee, and it's like, anyway.
Yeah.
So here is the race selection and appearance selection. So you can see there's Canarian, Dwarf, Elf, Human, and then obviously flipping it over to male. And we've got obviously Dwarves and everything there. So I'm just going to mess around with a particular...
Well, actually, can we go back just one?
Sure.
One I want to point out. So when you hit character creation, it says Rogue, Dual Wield, Rogue, Archer. And, you know, it says at the bottom, but of course it's the fine print, so some people miss it. Well, wait, does that lock me in? Do I have to play two-handed?
It definitely doesn't.
You don't. It basically determines your starting talents, your starting weaponry and stuff. That said, you can even respec mid-game. If you're like, no, you know what, I'm really tired of dual wielding, I want to go to archery, or you want to do a hybrid, you can do that as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, the pictures, you know, of the sort of weapon and shield or the two-handed warrior, you know, there's an axe there. Again, you could be using maces, you could be using swords.
Yeah.
It's whatever equipment you happen to get in the game. So, okay. So then difficulty. I love the nightmare description.
It's just swords and you're holding your own head.
Yeah.
So we've been balancing it out. So hard in particular is a pretty sincere challenge. I've been working directly with the combat team to push that up. In part because I think, you know, there's those of you that like played Origins on Nightmare and that kind of stuff. You want your hard experiences to be really hard. Normal is a little more accessible. Certainly still requires some thinking.
It does. You know, I'm probably going to be playing some normal stuff. Normal difficulty in the gameplay today, and you can see as you go through this particular area the attrition that takes place. You know, as you get into more combat, you know, your health goes down, and then you know you either need to drink potions or you need to be able to back out and go back to resupply those potions. We
skipped through it a little fast. We'll take a look next time around at the just a little quick glimpse of the keep import stuff. I know some people had some questions about that. We'll take a glance. You can see it's integrated as part of the care gen flow.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about the keep, you know, because that's how you bring in your decisions from the previous Dragon Age games.
Actually, we just had another wave of invites go out, so that's pretty nice. We're seeing a lot more feedback coming in.
Yes. Don't you have like 5,000 codes? Everyone spam Mike for codes.
I don't anymore. Actually, I don't. I had to give them all away by asking really obscure trivia questions.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. We're in our appearance customization. So there's default heads that we start you with that you can then customize.
I love the punchy prize fighter.
Yeah, this guy.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lost. Well, he's won more fights than he's lost. I think is what that face says.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm customizing this particular character. You can see there's a whole bunch of different categories here. If we go into general, initially there's some sliders. We have a really cool system to give you a lot more control, but some of these general settings, change the face structure.
Yeah, these are just your top level.
Exactly.
Start from here, and then you get a lot more fine tuned.
That's right. So skin tones, all the way from really pale Canadian, not pale in the sun.
What? Yeah.
Come on, I'm Australian and I've never been this pale in my entire life.
Haven't seen the sun in many, many months.
That's right. I think one of the first things he said when I moved here was the wolf god will swallow.
Yeah. The sky wolf. Yeah, will eat the sun.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we want someone kind of tanned. So complexion, these are a pretty cool. Wow, he's really old and decrepit looking.
Oh, wow, that pretty much looks like us at the end of a project, man.
It does.
Yeah.
So you can see there's like freckles and things like that in there as well. As you sort of flip through those, we go with that one.
Sure.
Okay. So eye color here again. This is the basics of the eye color. We can change that in a really cool slider later on. Hair. There's a whole bunch of different styles in here.
The tussle, the undercut, the He-Man, and the Joan Jett.
Yeah. It reminds me of that guy from God, I can't remember the name of the show. Anyway,
that's fine.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big thing was we wanted to give a bunch of different hairstyle options for people. Like, if you want to have long, you want to have short, we want to give a bunch of those. Of course, hair color is always important, and it will transition down to your facial colors as well.
I'm going grayer the longer this project runs, so that's going to be me by the end of it.
So.
All right, let's go with dark brown.
Ooh. A chestnut.
Chestnut.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This guy's really pushing all the edges.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Dark brown hair. Oof.
We've got some little beard styles here as we go through. So, I don't know what you'll describe that as.
Isn't that technically a Van Dyke where it doesn't connect, or is it connected?
You're the beard expert.
I just have a beard. That doesn't make me an expert.
All right. I'm gonna go again. Let's 5 o'clock shadow.
No, good. Oh, no.
Something different?
No, you just too generic. You got to get yes. Now we're talking.
All right. Okay.
Stash of doom.
So voices. Each gender has, or each appearance has a selection of 2 different voices.
So they come essentially pre-map based on race. So if you don't touch the slider, and if you're at the top level, like Cameron was scrolling through that list, if you just say, yeah, that one's awesome, I'm going for that, you'll get the voice that matches your race. So an American kind of flatter accent is going to match, and you guys can hear them here, is going to match the voice of a canary or a dwarf, and then the British accent is going to match a human and an elf. Yeah.
So here is where most of our customization comes in place. We've got this really cool sort of I don't know what you call it, like some sort of multi-point thing.
Yeah, a pan-dimensional target.
Yeah.
Pan-dimensional.
Tyler is probably in his office right now.
What are you doing? It's a 2-dimensional slider on a grid. God. Anyway.
So big ears, little ears, you can really sort of customize that. Okay.
If you had hair, it would move around the hair.
Yeah, and then, you can move the ears around the head with this kind of slider. So it's all really cool. The character artist is probably also looking at us right now going, what have you done? So earlobe size, I love this one. It's like, how big do you want your earlobes? How big are your earlobes?
About that big?
Better.
Yeah, they're kind of earlobe size.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I think of them.
Yeah.
The right size?
The correct size.
That's right. Everyone else has got these weird ears. Mine, pretty much normal.
Do we want big cheekbones?
I don't know. This is your creation.
Okay, except for the beard.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's my mustache on your creation.
Yeah. So you can see, how the skin texture is just running over whatever changes of the skull that we're making there. So brow size as well, So it's all pretty.
I think we gotta get into some color stuff though. That's where it really shines.
All right. Well, let's do it in the eyes. So
there we go.
You start off with just general sort of eye shapes. We can then modify. So if we scroll down here, we can do say the outer iris color, and then separately the inner iris color as well. So you can see if we want to go. What color do you want to go, Mike?
I think we need, let's go some green.
Some green?
Some green.
Okay,
yeah.
So once we pick the sort of the general kind of green color on here, then using the other stick, I can sort of really fine tune the particular color. So
saturation.
Yeah. So we'll go really bright green on the outer irises, and then on the inner irises, we can do like a. I don't know. You see, if you go like full green, it's like mega green.
Yeah.
And that's just really that slight part around the inner iris, which is really cool that you can have that much customization. Again, default sort of nose shapes you can look at here, and you sort of flip between them, and then you can customize that. So what are we doing there? Like the width of the nose, You can see the beard sort of modifies as well.
Yeah.
Nose position on the face, take it all the way down, all the way up, and then perhaps I should do it on that side, I guess. Zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, it's true. You can zoom in and out if you want to get really close. It's not on a per slider basis.
Do we want this guy to have a big nose?
Again, follow your muse. Just
right.
Chase that dream, buddy.
All right. Okay. So then we're looking at the bridge size. So, right now it's sort of up the top. I scroll down and you can start to see it sort of modifying the two sort of parts of the nose.
Yeah.
And then
we gotta hit broken nose before we're done, though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
That's one of my faves. It's actually it's like, I think when you think about characters, people tend to think of them as being this character's just going to be perfect, and that. Sure, you can chase that down, but sometimes, it's a rough and tumble world. Your character's probably been a lot of fighting.
Yeah,
it's been a chaotic time. So you come out of that, and you're like, no, my nose needs a crook. So,
absolutely, it depends. It's whatever your fantasy is, right? I mean, being able to create your own Inquisitor and play it in the game, and then make your own decisions and action. This flows through everything in the game. Customization, crafting, the decisions that you make, the impacts of that, how you customize Skyhold. Your race, gender, voice. We want your character to be your character, rather than a fixed one that we force upon you.
Yeah, the voicing was really fun. I remember when we were discussing that. Because actually, so we added voice as part of the addition of races when we moved a year and said we want to go further with this. We said, okay, so what should we do? There you go, get that big swollen.
And I love how you can sort of take it from side to side as well.
A deviated septum.
Yes,
I think that's what that's called.
It looks really good on a dwarf.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. Yeah, because dwarves tend to have your big florid nose.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have to, but
I love that.
Little teeth.
Kind of looks like Freddie Mercury.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
So this having a beard is not so good to show off the lips, but anyway, we can sort of show it off. So you can hold the. I'm going to go back out. I'm going to take off our beard for a sec. So where was that again? General.
It's in general.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we? Mouth and jaw. Okay. So you can see the mouth width is changing, the upper part of the mouth as well. And mouth position, you can take that all sorts of weird and wonderful.
Little pursed, yeah.
Yeah.
He's posing for his selfie now, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Getting the duck lips.
You want full lips?
Dude, again.
Man, you're not helping me. You're supposed to be creative.
I'm giving you the opportunity to fulfill your fantasy, which apparently is a scruffy guy with green eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's our jaw size going on. See the skin moving over that jaw there. Chin size. Zoom out a little bit. Double chin. I love this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe just had a little too much Orlean cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe had.
Well, he's been finding all the cheese wheels in the game. It's just been like,
this cheese crushing dead bodies is delicious.
So Adam's apple size as well, and you can do that for male and female, which is cool.
Yeah.
So why not?
So some people are wondering if there are replication codes generated from this so that you can share your character with your friends for them to use.
So replication codes is something we're looking at. It may be post-launch. It's still an investigation right now. Our hope is to try and integrate it with the Keep somehow, so it's fairly easy to do. But we don't have specific plans in place right now. But that's we're aware it's a very popular feature. At this point, it's getting it to the right venue for sharing them. Because there are obviously a ton of different sliders and data and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where we're looking at right now. But yeah, we're aware. That one's definitely on the hit list. It may be something we add in post-release even.
Yeah. You gonna make the scar up? Why not?
Scars?
So we're moving the scar across the face now. We can do it in a horizontal as well as a vertical position.
Yeah. Take it up. Oh! Yeah. Man, he's lucky that bear didn't get his eye.
Tattoos. We love tattoos. Now we've got to change the colour for this. So got full control over the colour of the tattoos. Whatever you want to do there.
I can't.
Okay,
You don't have any tattoos.
No, I know. I'm getting there.
Oh, I see. You want to start it blue?
Yeah.
You don't want to be sullied by black?
Exactly. So,
yeah.
So there's some sort of tattoo.
So the designs themselves come in different patterns and then as well different intensities. So you can pull it down as if you want it to look a little faded, bring it in nice and bright. And as you cycle through them, as well, the tattoos differ by race.
Yes, yeah, the dwarf ones are really like full on your face. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you want the brand if you want to say, oh no, he was castless or something like that. You can use the tattoos to kind of tell a little bit of your story.
Yeah. Kind of like this one back here. There we go. Okay, makeup. So eyeshadow color. Now, I'm really not good with makeup.
It's not your forte.
It's not my forte. Yeah. I did a video that we showed at Edmonton Comic Con yesterday, actually, and I am horrendous at this.
Oh, was that like the lime green David Bowie looking elf?
I didn't even mean to make. I was just messing around.
Oh, here we go. Case in point.
So, never ever trust me with your makeup, Mike. I know that this is something that you...
I got to change my afternoon plans.
You really do?
Yeah. You know that meeting I booked? Yeah, it's canceled.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, one of our producers who's worked with the art team for the entirety of the project, actually, Colleen, has gone through and basically done a lot of the NPC heads. She's customized them herself.
Yeah.
And it's been fun watching her deftness with the makeup system improve.
Yeah.
We've had a couple characters where they're very prominent, so you see them change as she checks in new versions, and she'll keep tweaking them.
Yeah.
And the makeup has gotten more and more subtle and a lot more natural. As she's
That's
like,
cool.
oh, wait, I
Yeah.
figured out how to do this particular type of eyeliner mixed with blush, with... And it's really cool, because the system's been evolving over time, too. Oh, you are...
I'm so bad.
Wow. Yeah.
So put a bit of blush on this guy, but it's cool because the blush could be black, all these different colors, which is really neat.
People are wondering if there's full body tattoos and if you can add beauty marks or moles or freckles.
So full body tattoos, no, because the majority of the time you're in armor. So we decided to really focus on making the face the highly customizable part. In terms of beauty marks, the scar system, I don't think it actually has any beauty marks in it.
I haven't seen it.
Check. I don't think we do have those.
Yeah.
That is a good suggestion, and probably something we should look at.
I love how you can change even the lip shine.
How glossy it is.
Yeah.
This is the mid Vaseline application. What? Oh, this may not be showing our art in the best light. Yeah. Now here's the best part: you can back out and reset and lose all those changes, so that your poor guy doesn't look like he went headfirst into a cosmetics
Exactly.
factory.
Well, how about we do that? How about we go back to the main menu?
We did say,
and then we can do another character. Okay. All right. So, what race do you guys want us to do next? So, we just did a human. So, pick between an elf, dwarf, and a canary.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do a female, I think.
We've heard a lot for canary, especially the horns.
All right.
Horns. All right.
Mind if I do this one?
Sure.
Mix it up. Maybe not. That makeup is applied.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
It's a fun little thing. The race you get, or the gender you get at the start of the game is randomized.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like, just, I don't know, you're going to get a set of cards.
Mhm.
It is the bumpers to switch them. Let's see, doesn't matter for Karajan. We'll go Canary Mage.
Yeah, I like mage.
There we go. Ooh, Talbashov. And then again, to talk about it. So when you're playing here, right now we're not logged in to the Origin servers.
No.
We don't have our account set up. So we're getting only the option of the default world state.
Yes.
How it works if you are signed in on the Dragon Age Keep and you've used it, the beta people are probably familiar, is you can promote one world state to basically be your primary.
Yes.
And to say, this is the one I want exported. How that works, just so we're clear on it while we're doing CareGen, is that at this moment, it will connect to the keep, it will grab that world state, and essentially embed all that data into your save game.
Yeah.
You can do that multiple times, you can start multiple games, and then you can go and change it and start another game.
That's right.
And get an updated version for that. So the nice thing is, because it's kind of a one event thing, you don't need to be online the whole time, can connect to the keep, and so on. That said, when you set up to your world state, it will be able to push data back.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
when we talk about world states, for those of you who don't know, that's basically save game information.
Like who's king of Ferelden?
Exactly, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you played Origins or you played DA2 or
Right.
both, you can go back in and you can set up this world state, which is basically you defining all those decisions and actions that you've taken in the previous games.
Yeah.
And then that's what you bring in. So.
Yeah, and the Keep's a free web-based system.
Yep.
In fact, if you look at the archives here on the BioWare channel, you can see Fernando and Leah and co going through that in detail, so you can sort of see how it works.
Yep.
It's kind of a living tapestry of history.
That's right, and it'll be live before the game ships, so
Yep.
you have plenty of time to get in there and mess around with it.
Get it set up and everything, right?
Yeah, I've got to do that myself, actually.
I got mine set up.
Now, after your character is set, are you able to revisit the character generator later in the game?
Not currently. Not currently. That's something, again, we're
Face
looking
melter.
at potentially later. Yeah, we jokingly call that the face melter.
Yeah.
It's something that may happen post-release. We may patch it in or something like that. But for right now, the nice thing is we're trying very hard. We got our lighting guys to make sure that this is a close approximation to kind of a neutral lighting state for the game.
Yes.
Because that's something we've gotten a lot of feedback on is, oh, wow, I look totally different here than when I did in the game.
And I've had that problems in all sorts of games. We definitely don't want to do that.
And one of the nice advantages of the opening of the game, which we're not going to spoil today, is that you do have a variety of lighting conditions right off the bat. So if you don't like it, it's very easy to restart. Not ideal. I'd rather do a face melter, but we'll look at that as a potential future option. Oh, there you go with the hawk. Now, this one's always a popular question. Can I have a Canary without horns?
Yes.
Sten style? Absolutely, you can. And
You
we'll
can have
take a look at
hornless
that in
and
some detail.
like little stubs
Yep,
as well,
in fact,
and full horns. So let's jump in there.
Let's do that, because everybody wants to know about the hair. So we'll start here. Now, this slider says horns, but it's actually a combination of horns and hair. Most of these styles are available with the different horn patterns. Here you have sort of I sawed it off kind of Talvashoff look.
I love
here's
that one with
that's
all the
kind
intricate sort of
it's
patterns
been
on the metal.
inlaid, and then apparently the tip's been broken off. Again, kind of a nice layered look, some studding, I guess, if you want to win at a headbutting competition.
Well,
Forward curls.
There was still, remember that guy down at PAX a couple of years ago? Someone was like, "Does the Canary have like a headbutt special ability?" And I was like, "What? Yeah. Oh, that should be great."
Yeah. Well, you can make a warrior in charge. That
That's
sure
true,
feels. That sure feels pretty. Here we go. Now we're into the asymmetrical breaks. That's
that's really cool.
I fell off the back of a hay wagon.
Yeah.
Here's the I fell off the back of the hay wagon the other way with a new hairstyle.
Backwards.
Symmetrical. Yeah, exactly. You know she had to pull herself out of that.
Yeah.
And this is more into the spaces, the Cerebos or the some of the Talvashoff Raiders in DA2 where they quite deliberately sawn off their horns.
Yeah.
And then we get into the hornless variations as well. So you have a variety of different shapes and styles and metals.
Cool.
So I know that one was a pretty popular ask.
Actually, on Twitter last night, I was seeing a lot of people asking about the skin tone of the Canary.
Sure, okay.
So
let's dig in on that. So the Canary, they definitely a very different skin tone set than we have. You run to a fairly pale kind of gray there. Pull through the different grays, and then you head more into the bronzy territory, closer to what Sten's color was, with that slight green tinge. A little bit more pink, and then all the way down into kind of this dark bronze, and then right there for almost this like jet black look, which can be really striking.
Given red eyes.
Yeah, you go into like the more traditional Canary kind of white hair or blondes.
Like Horndro.
Yeah, a lot of people are. Yeah, kind of. A lot of people are very curious about hair color. We bandied about whether we'd restrict to white or something like that. And we decided no, it needs some variations, but obviously not the full range that the humans have or the elves.
Do you want to do female voice?
Yeah, absolutely. So our two voice actors, you've probably seen Connell get spit on various times by one of them.
So good.
But of course, for the American voice, which would be the one you heard first, Sumali Montano is Somali. Sorry, I said it slightly wrong there. Is voicing him. So again, your two choices, able to switch between some nice sample lines, get a sense of the lip sync in motion as well. All right, come out of here. Now beyond that,
adjust the body type at all? We have a number of questions about that.
Oh, body type. So people keep asking about body type, and totally fair question. We had to make a choice between kind of racial variation on the body types or slider variation on the body types in terms of how we decided to build it. The takeaway for us was that having all the races and the genders be different heights and different sizes was more valuable than having like a slider-based kind of body shape.
And that, I mean, obviously we've got a lot of data in the character creator, so we let us double down.
Absolutely, So a female Canary, for instance, just towers over even a human male. There are few conversations quite as stark as a female dwarf talking to a male Canary, because that's just that their necks are all craned. And of course, that was pretty challenging because we had to build specific systems to make them properly meet up and the head look over the course of all dialogues. So makeups share the same basic shape and style over the course of the two, but as noted, we also have there's scars. thickness, chin shape. So again, female characters, as Cam noted, do have Adam's apples as available. And as we go through the Canary, a lot of people tend to forget they do have pointed ears as well. So we can have them. Nice thing, of course, is that with the more outwardly focused ears, like on elves and stuff, you can put that level of bend onto them and get that kind of thing. Elves, of course, are a little bit larger, so you can really see that stand out on the character. Now, one question that would pop up here is, where's tattoos for Canary? Right? Obviously, that's the biggie.
Where are tattoos?
Well, Canary are a little bit different from every other race. They kind of got their own set of equipment when it comes to headgear. So rather than giving you like kind of these permanent tattoos for them, instead they wear something called Vitar. And Vitar is essentially this highly toxic to anybody but Canary material, and it's applied like a war paint almost. You can hide it with hide helmet if you don't want to see it, but it looks really rad. You get different combinations and patterns, and they all have different effects.
So you're saying that pattern will change depending on the headgear?
Absolutely. So you equip it just like it's a helmet. So instead of helmets, all Canary wear Vitar, and everyone else gets their range of helmets. So it gives Canary kind of something kind of special. We wanted to do that because, well, they're new, they're cool, they're exciting. So
people want to see some scars on them.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
And they also want to know if the horns, if you can make them bigger or smaller.
Horn size is not slider based, but it is as you change the horn patterns.
Yes,
they move across. All right, so let's go one of the more intense scar patterns here. That one, and then we can
do the intensity. So that will dull it down.
Yeah, you dull it down, pull it back up, and then of course. Motion comes around. If you want to get to the edge of the lip, look like she has survived the battle axe to the side of the face.
We'll in the throat though. That.
Oh yeah. Pull it
so
down.
Close to the jugular.
Yeah, pull her up here as well, up into the eye territory.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and of course you can see the light response coming off of that scar is absolutely different from the regular skin.
Yep.
Are we able to see different types of lighting in the character creator so we can see what Cameron's glam makeup looks like?
We've actually, so the lighting in here is a custom staged lighting that we built. We don't have it cycling through different ones, but what we did is built this one to be essentially the same lighting that is used for most cinematics.
Yeah.
Because unlike our previous games where the lighting was entirely the level, we've actually done a pass through all the major cinematics in the game and done a cinematic lighting pass. So it's the equivalent of like the gaffer coming in and lining stuff up, getting the right color. So this is a close approximation. Obviously, there's going to be some difference because you won't have a green background. And
That's
so
right.
on.
Yeah.
But other than that, this is about as close as you'll get.
Yep.
Yeah. Take one more look at horns. Oh, yeah, and you wanted to do some red eyes, right, on there?
Yeah, let's do that.
There's some nice brilliant blue. Icy. There you go. Into the
so they're just the
greens.
default ones.
Yeah, huge range on there.
Let's
and
jump
then
down eyes,
we want to go. Let's make them a little bigger.
Yeah.
There we go, so we can see them.
I love how you can rotate the eyes, change the style.
Yeah.
There's unibrow eyebrows. I love those.
There we go. So there's a nice kind of good example of the different colors in between. The inner iris, of course, will change. We can go into
I love when you do it white.
or
So it's like a
over.
red around the outside and a white in the middle.
If we get more into like a Sten territory where you have kind of this rich violet with a little bit of red on the outside, that starts to look a little more into that territory. So again, all characters can have this. It maybe a little fantastical for humans, but hey, it's your character.
Yeah.
Maybe you were hit by a random spell. It's a chaotic time.
It is.
Absolutely.
Are there any post-game character customization unlocks?
As in, do we unlock more stuff when you beat the game?
Get more stuff?
No, we want to give you everything right up front. Obviously, when you beat the game, you can come back and try a different race, but it's all available right from the get go. Seemed kind of a strange place to lock it behind.
Do you know how many options there are?
So I think it was something like, I need to double check. Aaron's probably going to slap me, but I think it was 62 variables. And then in terms of like what each of these categories are here, but then in terms of combinations, like it's billions. Like even just in colors.
Yeah, there's this spectrum right here
what
is enormous.
What is that? Like how many is that? And then with the multi-point on each of the sort of the cheekbones and the eyes and the ears and stuff like that.
And hey, while we're at it, eyelash style. We didn't show this earlier.
No, I didn't show that one.
You want big thick fan, full little. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. These are all pop. What? I grew up in the 80s. I'm allowed to say things like that. Get off my lawn, Cameron. Yes,
does
there we go.
the character creator affect your in-game picture for your character?
No, the picture is the iconized mark on the hand.
That's right.
Yeah. The portrait is determined by that, basically because we've gone with the stylized look. Yeah, I know. Some people are going to be like, but the derp face portraits, those are very popular in Origins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the followers kind of have derp. Some of them are a little bit dirty.
Yeah, but because we're using the icons to indicate when a character is wounded,
that's right.
In a particular shape, we've decided to use the Inquisitor as a more kind of generic style, so that when that hand goes red, even if you're not controlling your Inquisitor directly, you immediately get at a glance, can go, oh, geez, the Inquisitor's in rough shape, and so on.
Okay.
All right, shall we go to some gameplay?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Let's back out here. Cameron, back to you.
All right. So this area is it's a bit of the deep roads, I guess, sort of some dwarven.
Yeah, so the
area.
For those of you who may not be familiar with the Deep Roads, lore time. The Dwarven Empire once stretched across the entirety of the underworld. They had they had these huge highways, massive kind of cities underground called Tigers, and of course the Darkspawn, who are kind of what the ever-present threat, started breeding in the Deep Roads, spreading and pushing the dwarves back and back and back to the point where the Dwarven Empire has only a single city left.
That's right. Now this particular area is kind of connected to something that we've shown at E3. Do you want to talk about that?
It is. I think it's really cool. So when we started E3, you guys may remember me narrating the walkthrough and everything. We started in that awesome cave with the waterfall coming down. What we didn't do was look behind. And behind us there was a door, which leads into here. So
and nugs always hang out there as well.
There's always a nug there that's going, chirp, unless the mercenary assassins are in the midst of killing it.
Yes.
Which can happen at times. But yeah, this is a nice, think of it as E3, the alternate path.
That's right, yeah.
So this area would have been a dwarven area where they built up to the surface and then kind of sealed it back off. Obviously, it's fallen into some disrepair. Some of the cavern has collapsed because the dwarves have had to abandon it. And as we've come here, it's usually to investigate the fact that there are some Carta that are now kind of taking it over and are using it in some way.
And you have to sort of the door is locked initially, so you have to try and find a key and
there's I believe there's 3 different ways you can get in there.
Oh really? I only thought there was one.
Yeah,
so there you go.
There's one for exploration early. There's a plot event that can also take you in there or take you back there, possibly.
Yes.
And if you've cleared it out, that's significantly easier.
And I love how multi-level this dungeon is.
Yes.
It's
cool. A nice, huge vertical space, wide open. Yeah. You see that poor Paragon's lost an arm.
Yeah. I just want to double check that I'm playing on... Okay, so I'm definitely playing on normal. Okay. So, I happen to know that there is a dwarf here. So, but what I could have done is bring up my tactical cam and scout it ahead.
Instead of being slightly prescient.
Yeah, So you can see, so tactical cam, obviously, it's back on all the platforms. It's really bringing in that sense of that you had with Dragon Age Origins.
You've got ground rings.
Ground rings. And when we first got ground rings in, remember that? It was like...
everyone started cheering.
Like, oh my god, ground rings!
Yeah, I remember that. It was during the E3 review. We were getting ready, and we were like, "Okay, we're going to showcase TACCAM nice and early." And the first time ground rings came up, the whole room burst into applause. It was like, "Yeah!"
So here you can do like basic attacks. You can swap between the characters here. Tell them to give.
And in fact, if you do multiple characters attacking, you'll see that the target kind of queues up, and you can see who else is going to be doing basic attacks on him. Just press A on one of them. And there, you'll see Vivian's been added as well.
That's
so you can kind of tell who's going to be targeting each individual character as you sweep around.
Exactly. And then what I can do is, at least on the controller, is hold down the trigger and it starts timing and see everything play out.
Yeah. On PC, that's a remappable key.
Exactly.
So,
that's right.
You can be playing the whole combat in this mode. You can toggle between the modes.
Yeah.
Of course, you can get some pretty wicked screenshots.
This is really cool.
Like, this guy's like, I wish you were here because look at me.
Yeah,
determined.
exactly.
So determined.
The model guy,
Yeah.
So this is really cool. What we found is that the players, the more people get their hands on these, this tactical cam and real time, as they swap between the two quite fluidly, which I think is really neat. It's a great byproduct of creating this new system that allows us to move time forward.
Shamey's dead. That needed a shield bash.
Yeah.
So
can you fall off those ledges?
Yeah,
there?
worth noting. You can.
I could.
As a player, if you fall off, you will reset and come back up. If you send an NPC sailing off those ledges, then they will be able to. They will die. They will die absolutely horribly, and it's immensely satisfying.
It is.
Cassandra, in particular, has a couple moves that are very, very good for sending guys flying with the shield, doing bashes.
So I'm just going to run around for a little bit, Mike, and
Is your quest window always open on the top right there?
It can be. It's contextual.
Up to you, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have a quest tracked, then it will turn off. You can also turn it to be off all the time, on all the time. Up to you how you want it. Built into the
That's
options
right,
menu.
and it's the same with things like damage floaters. You're seeing some damage floaters coming up there. I've changed my config to only have damage floaters for my controlled character.
You can do the whole party.
You can do the whole party.
Yeah.
You can do, I think, none as well. And,
Yeah, you can say none. I don't want any damage for this.
that's right.
So we had a guy come down around here. Now, another thing worth noting, the armor that Cameron is wearing on his main character, we'll take a look at that, is the one of the suits you get if you pre-order.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, we did
get
some
some-
cool stuff this time around. In fact, coming up very soon, we're going to dig in on crafting and customization. I'm actually just looking at a QA. You guys have sent in some questions. How does that work? Walk us through it. So I've written up an intro. But here's one of the things that's very neat, is that armor has a pattern that determines its appearance. But
Yeah.
once you have it, you're going to get a starter set of armor if you pre-order the game. You're also going to get the schematic for that armor. Meaning that you could be building that armor out of dragon scale, out of the best materials in the game. If you really like the look, you can actually invest some time into crafting and make that armor out of like top tier stuff.
That's right.
In fact, you can do that with almost every armor in the game. You can find a schematic for it, buy it, recover it from some ancient tag, and once you have it, you can then use the Inquisition attachment to build it.
Yep. Thank God you're here because I can't talk and drive.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably good. There's two.
I'd
of
end
us.
up with like game face.
Yeah, with you just
Cheese.
There is cheese. There's cheese and sausage links. We've really broadened out our food in the dungeon spectrum.
Are there any sort of basic needs? Do you need to eat or sleep?
No, we haven't gone big on eating or sleeping. What slightly pushes into that territory though is the change we've made. The change we've made to health.
That's right. Let's talk about health because we're going through a dungeon
Yeah.
now and it's sort of slowly
Yeah.
coming down as we get into more.
So, in fact, pull your left trigger. Just bring that up. Now you notice Cassandra, the Inquisitor, and Vivienne are slightly hurt. You can see their health bar is depleted. That's the result. Health doesn't come back instantly after combat anymore. It can be restored via potions. In fact, if we pull up the tactical wheel, we can. Yeah, there you go. Nope.
Oh, that
There,
one.
that one, yeah. So you have a stack of potions. You can also carry additional potions on a per character basis
That's
that
right,
are
yeah.
regeneration.
Yep.
There's a grenade you can throw to heal your party as well. But ultimately, you'll notice it's 8 of 8. That's a limited resource. You don't have an unlimited number of potions available.
Yep.
Meaning that you have to play a little more strategically. Think long term, not just win this fight, but like, how am I going to survive fight after fight after fight?
Yeah.
And Cam's playing a normal, so it's not gonna crush him.
No.
But he is able to go through those encounters, and even then he's taking a bit of damage. One element that's worth noting.
I'm also picking up some crafting material
yeah.
here as well. So Darkstone, this is a great area for Darkstone. And each material's...
Breakstone.
Oh, it's a break, sorry.
Yeah.
Each I can't read.
Yeah.
Each type of crafting material has different stats. Just pause that for a sec. So I don't know what this one has, but like it might be like +2 to magic or defense, and that will change depending on what slot you inserted into in the schematic of the equipment that you want to craft.
Yep, absolutely. So if you use higher tier metals, your armor base value will be higher,
Yep.
And then each schematic, especially as they level up, they have a lot more utility slots and defense slots, and depending on I'm going to use this leather and this metal, you'll come away with different stats. Yeah. But anyway, to talk through damage, one of the mechanics we mentioned is to kind of get away from the idea of the heal spam mage. That's the heal.
Yep.
Is that instead the whole party kind of works together.
Whoa.
Oh, you sir have that is Blink.
That is Blink.
And you've zoomed off of the slide. So it lets you move very quickly through combat. Great for evading dragon fire and such.
Yep.
So as a party, you can have your mages set up barrier. You'll notice the Inquisitor right now has that swirling blue around him and a bar overlaid. That barrier will eat damage, so it prevents it. Warriors can build up something called guard. If you challenge a foe, if you taunt a foe, if you shield block or parry, there are many ways warriors can build up their guard stat. And guard, which you'll see again on the Inquisitor and cast now, are those silver bars, and they act like an ablative health. So in a lot of ways, the warrior is as responsible for healing themselves,
Yes.
almost as a preventative measure.
Yeah.
It really changes the gameplay dynamic. It means you don't have heal spam. It means your mages can be a lot more focused on crowd control, and your warriors can be a lot more focused on protecting themselves.
That's right. Now there is a revive kind of a spell, right? Like at the end of the spirit tree.
So there's a revive spell which allows you to get someone up at range. You can also, if you're willing to spend the time, run someone over and press A or hold A or interact by right-clicking, so that you can get any character back up during combat. It's slow.
Yep.
Whereas the spell is like, he's up and suddenly healed. You can even invest in some really, really high-end alchemy and get a potion, like a throwable grenade that can revive people from unconscious states.
Now,
Does the pre-order content give any inherent advantage to players?
Oh, so pre-order basically changes your variety visually. You have this sword available, you have new armor available, and at the very beginning you're granted weaponry that kind of matches the starting class you pick. So if you pick an archer, you will have a bow delivered to you and a suit of light or medium armor. But in terms of like long-term advantage, not really. It just gives you yet another avenue for customization.
It does. Now this is the Carter leader, so this is who
We're going to do a tougher encounter here for sure.
Inquisitor pulled that guy over.
Yep. So the Inquisitor being two-hander is very good at single targets. He's also good in a mix. You can actually build him one of two ways. Two-hand tanking is possible.
Yep. You can see the low health. So you can see when they sort of flash low health, and then one of them's drinking a potion to pull up. Quickly putting a barrier there as well.
Yeah.
So this is definitely tough to fight for my level. So these guys are level 8. I'm level 7. Those guys are brutal.
A fight like this, you can be really well served. There's a couple of different strategies Cam can use. If you can keep the guys clustered, which you can do with the Break Cry with Cassandra, then that's where you're going to run potions as well. So this fight's getting nasty. If you can get them clustered, you can throw out the Caltrops in with Barrack.
Yep.
You can use your two-hander behind him. Being behind a guy naturally gets you a bonus for your chance to crit. Oh, that was actually a spell detonator. That guy was electrified and you hit him with a muzzle. That's why he died in the cataclysm of lightning. Oh, and we've lost Cass. Tank down.
But we did win.
We did win.
We'll come up, but now, I mean, what have we got? Like 2 potions left?
Yeah.
And I'm barely scratching the surface of this dungeon. So this is another cool thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm hitting one of the sticks, and that's sort of highlighting some of the interactables in the world, so loot, things like that. Was it shift in the past?
Actually, a couple things. It would be tab,
Tab,
for the
that's
traditional,
right,
And in fact, you can, again, map it anywhere you want on PC.
Yeah.
One thing that came up there, you notice the power notifier
Yes,
came
we
up,
should
as
talk
well
about that,
as
yeah.
Inquisition perks.
Yeah.
So power, for those who've been following along, is how you grow the Inquisition. Think of the Inquisition as a character, and power is like its XP.
Yeah.
Actually, no, power is more like its gold, and then influence is its XP. When you have power, it basically is a currency you can spend to progress the story, to open up new areas to explore, to pursue new objectives. There's a couple of pieces of content that are kind of hidden away behind those.
Yep.
There's even mid-level areas where you can identify, like, oh, this bridge has been shattered in the fighting. I plant my banner, go back to my war table, and spend power to open that.
And that's really, and then when you come back there, it's built.
It's not only repaired, but now your flag is flying on it.
Yeah,
which
one of the
feels
cool things in Hinterlands, a guy asked to build guard towers to protect a village.
Absolutely.
Finding those spots and then going back and having those built with your power.
Yeah.
Inquisition power.
With guys saluting you, Inquisitor.
Cool,
yeah, it's very satisfying.
It is.
We had kind of an idea we had, which is, what if you could make your mark on the world
Absolutely.
and have more of an impact? So anyway, in gaining power, you can gain it by questing, you can gain it by pursuing objectives, mapping an area. There's any number of ways to get power, and there's more of it than you absolutely need to complete the game.
Yep.
Meaning that you may have a very different experience from your friend and say, I didn't even go to that particular desert. So that's a locked door, so you need a rope to open that. We also, I don't know if we went through it, but there was I saw a wall that you could knock down if you had a warrior.
There was, yeah. There's different sort of barrier types in the game. Like there's some really interesting magic barriers as well that the mages are really useful for, obviously. And then locked doors are equipment for a rogue, right? But we wanted something for everyone, regardless of the character, and try and give you some
friendly fire, and can you cast abilities and spells out of combat?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes, actually. So friendly fire is separate mode in the game, so it's not tied to difficulty. It's basically just an option you toggle on.
Yep.
One word of warning is that the AI can get a little punchy when it comes to friendly fire, so
Yes.
you may want to turn off, hey, fireball when they see a cluster of guys.
Yeah.
That said, for players that are going to play very tactically and kind of micromanage your party, friendly fire can be an amazing challenge, and it's really just a challenge at it.
Yeah.
What was the other one there, Paul?
And can you cast an ability out
Oh,
of combat?
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, unlike previous days, you have free attack, free cast. You can bury your party.
There's me doing it.
Yeah, and in fact, so philosophically, we wanted to make sure that you could prepare.
That's
for
right.
all of that.
Yep.
So while barrier will burn down over time, so you can't cast it and then run around forever. Things like being able to lay down traps, things like being able to enter stealth, all those things.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that there was never a situation where you really wanted to do it, but you had to get close enough to aggro guys.
Exactly. Like if I was actually an intelligent person, what I would have done in that tougher fight was prepare. So I would have cast barrier before I went in through the door. I would have laid down some traps at the front of the door.
Yeah, caltrops
aggroed
in the
guys,
door.
brought them back into the door. Had my warrior, probably Cassandra, because she's spec'd as a tank, hold that position at the door, and then start to AoE in. But
Yep.
I'm not intelligent, so I didn't do it.
So yeah, charge right on in.
That's right. So this is a cool piece. So there's lots of different collectibles in the game. That one in particular is really cool because you can take it back to Skyhold and start to form this picture and
Yep.
have people sort of investigate what this mosaic collection is starting to tell us the story of that,
Yep.
that mosaic.
Yep.
And there's a variety of things like that. So I was trying to find some Darkspawn bowstrings in some of these guys I've been killing, because you can take those back and they're part of the creature
Yep.
research that you can do as well in your library.
Darkspawn are down further.
Yeah, I'm going to get my butt kicked.
Yeah.
'Cause I've got no health, and there's a tough...
Oh, you'll be fine.
And if your characters fall in battle, are there lasting injuries from that?
We've gone away from lasting injuries because there's an elf.
Yeah, this is
because
my
of
red die.
because of the permanent health.
Well, let's see.
Injuries was the system we had in DAO and DA2 where it permanently damaged you. But entering into combat at 10% health or 25% health, it scales based on difficulty. Seemed penalizing enough.
I'm so going to die. Why do you make me die, Mike?
Well, because it gives you a chance to get.
Because I was
It gives you a chance to breathe, to feel truly at ease. Oh, he's about to go berserk. Bam. Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Now,
Barrick's going to run away and leave Vivian down there.
so notably,
All right, now I'm going to go.
you know, here's the thing: is you could see when he lifted his maul over his head.
Yeah.
I was able to call what he was going to do.
Yeah.
As you play through the game, creatures have habits and behaviors, and you can start to learn what they're going to do, so that you can start to anticipate.
Yes.
If you've been playing tactically, you could have used your pause and play and attack him and actually pulled everybody back from him, and he actually would have just stood there kind of flailing, because once they
Yeah.
go berserk, they go berserk.
Yeah.
You could have interrupted him using a shield bash, payback strike, something like that,
Yep.
or a stone fist.
Yep.
Or, final option, you could have just soaked it with your tank.
I could have.
You could have done that as
Yes,
well.
shield wall obviously is very useful for that.
Yeah.
So I just died. What we might do is we might take some Q&A.
Sure, yeah.
But while we do that, I'm going to just load into Hinterlands,
Okay.
because we've seen that before, and but I'll just run around and
Have something prettier on the screen than us.
Yeah,
at Monday
exactly.
morning, or
Yeah.
fair enough.
yeah. Okay, so hit us with questions, guys.
Yep.
So if the combat's too tough, can you run away for a while?
You can.
You can,
You
yeah.
can disengage from virtually any
Like a
combat. in the
coward.
game. Yeah, yeah. And what it will do, if your characters are unconscious, it will pull them behind you. They get back up, sorely wounded.
Yes, often using their limited health potions, of
Yeah.
course. So there's definitely a cost to doing it.
Yeah, but yes, in a lot of ways, we want you to be able to scout an encounter as well.
Yep.
Sending someone stealth in, kind of target locking them, and going, "Oh, that guy's level 12.
Mm.
I should not be here," or "Hey, I'm going to give it a try." Lets you kind of engage with the content up to the difficulty you want.
That's right. More questions.
They're hoping to see some tactical cam combat once we get into it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Some tactical camp combat.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been a request you guys have had for quite a while. So first off, to defeat the mighty Fennec
Yes. And his friend.
and
the-
his friend the August Ram, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's not an August Ram, that's a normal Ram. I'm sorry. I apologize to Ram.
Do you know that you can chain shot these guys?
Yes.
I understand it the other day. I was chain shotting
Absolutely.
nugs and pulling them towards me. I love killing nugs.
So in this case, you're kind of a bad man.
I am.
Right now, there's a Tumblr page being made.
Is that-
Okay, basics. Obviously, I'm going to use a long shot and a winter's grasp to pin it in place. You see the ice go off, and then long shot has a long draw to be able to fire at any point. And of course, this is the least challenging encounter in the game.
Yes.
But starting time, stopping time, and there's a long shot hit. So there's nothing left of our core deer.
Let's go find some guys like
some real challenges.
Some actual enemies.
Absolutely.
Are the deluxe edition items tied to just a single playthrough?
No, any item that you're receiving via like a DLC or like a pre-order bonus or whatever would start every time you started a new game.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want them to be
So are they Templars?
So these guys here, in fact, we can lock onto them and get an idea. So here we have part of the Templar fight that's happening. So these guys present a much more interesting challenge than a singular fox. Here we have an archer. Glowing arrow indicates he's about to do a special move.